Hey, it feels different, right?
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Fantasy Sports. Man, today I really want to get into something a little bit different. Obviously, I haven't been posting videos where you see something else other than just my face. So today I want to focus on doing a mock draft with you guys, watching what I'm doing as I draft. I'm just starting to get I just got the picks for my home league and the one with my dad, and I haven't got the other one yet. And I have 3 and 4, 3 with the home, 4 with the one with my dad. So PPRs, of course, both are 12-man league. With this, I want to do a draft that focuses on what I like to do and what I like to look at when I draft. So I thought you guys could get a little insider on what I do, what my thought process is, and what I'm looking at other people doing. So if you can look at the board, I have the number 3 pick. I'm targeting Austin Ekeler, Ja'Marr Chase. I'd prefer one of those two to be there. I would prefer not to get Christian McCaffrey, although, I know he's Christian McCaffrey. I just don't like that San Francisco team as much as, he had a great season last year. I'm not, sold on him. And with Ja'Marr Chase, he's probably the pick I really want the most here. I think there's a lot of value to be seen in wide receivers, more or less. They just keep seeming to be the way to go when it comes to fantasy. And Jamar's taken that step pretty much every single year. I know it's only been 2 years, but last year he went up from a 24% to a 29% target share. I'm pretty sure he put up 1,000 yards or more than 1,000 yards, and he missed a couple games. So he might have missed 4 or 5 games. So, 1,000-yard season he pretty much averaged 100 yards a game when he played, although I know he had big games and small games. But yeah, I'm definitely targeting Ja'Marr Chase. As you can see, first pick was Justin Jefferson, then Christian McCaffrey. I'm taking Ja'Marr here. That's what I would do, even if Austin Ekeler was on the board. I know they got a new offensive coordinator and a little bit of a big contract in Justin Herbert, and it's a prove-it year for Austin Ekeler. But I'm very solid on picking wide receivers, and I think wide receivers is pretty much the future of what people are going to be doing. Now you come back. I'm pretty sure I have the 22 and 27 pick. I'm almost certain about that. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. But just looking at the board, I would probably want Waddle and then come back and where's Jahmyr? I want Jahmyr Gibbs. I know he's down, but man, I really have been talking so much about Jahmyr Gibbs. I really, really, really want him. Although he's, obviously a little bit of a risky pick. It's just like I'm in the zone where I really want a Detroit player and I really want Jahmyr Gibbs. Although I can't pass up on value in like Devontae or ETN, although I do think Jahmyr might be better. We'll just see what I do with the 22nd pick. If I get Patrick Mahomes, I'm definitely going Jahmyr Gibbs because then I can, have the safe route and, taking the best quarterback on the board and taking a little bit of a risky pick. Obviously, you see that the board is, obviously just a variation of the top 10. This doesn't shock me as much as I thought it would. More running backs going than I expected. I did not expect Chubb to go as high as he did just because he can't catch, as well as, the other running backs and people on the board. But yeah, definitely targeting wide receivers this year very heavily. Starting off with Ja'Marr Chase, I would really like to get Jalen Waddle, have a really good 2 solid wide receivers. But if Tony Pollard is there, I'd probably target him. So I'm going to throw these 2 in the queue for myself. Looking what other people are doing, we got the 12 going with Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams. If I had his pick, I probably would have went Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown. Just to be honest, that's value right there, 2 of the best wide receivers. Not that Derrick Henry's that bad by any means, but I don't like that team. I just don't trust obviously, if there's anyone to trust on that team, it's Derrick Henry. But with that being said, I just, I'm not in love with that whole situation with, the coaching and so on and so forth. Now we got 4 picks before me. So it's looking a little shaky. Obviously, no one's picked Jonathan Taylor. In a real draft, I feel like he would have went by now, but in real life, you actually don't know what's happening with him. He received an excused absence. Let's see what's going on. Here's the thing. Someone just took Jonathan Taylor. At some point, it's got to be like, he's Jonathan Taylor. He was one of the best. He was the top running back. So, So with that pick, Tony Pollard went. I'm not too shocked about that. I thought I had more picks or less picks to go. Now we got 2 picks ahead of us. I'll take any variation of the 3 players at the top. I prefer any of them. Josh Jacobs arguably is the one I prefer least. But, I mean, you never know. This dude's probably going to auto pick and it'll give him Josh Jacobs. No, it gave Jalen Waddle. Yeah, that's what I was definitely targeting. But I'll take Patrick Mahomes, who's not there. Now this is where I get tricky. I don't know what I wanted. I really wanted a wide receiver. I don't want to take Josh Jacobs. I don't think he's going to reproduce like he did last year. But with that being said, I'm taking Jalen Hurts because I'm hoping on the comeback I can get Devontae Smith and tag up those 2. But if I can't, I'm totally fine with taking the second best quarterback on the board and then coming back with a Jahmyr Gibbs pick. Jalen Hurts arguably had the best fantasy season last year by any player at the quarterback position. Almost had 40-something plus touchdowns, a bunch of rushing yards and stuff, put up numbers every single game. And especially when touchdowns, when passing touchdowns are 4 points and rushing are 6, and he had like 10 of them. I didn't even see Olave. Where was he? I would have picked Olave. Did I miss him on the board? What was his X rank? Damn, man, I would have totally picked Olave there. I just didn't even see him. I am blind. Yeah, I actually probably would have went Olave there. I think Olave's going to have a big season with Michael Thomas returning and what's his name? Derek Carr becoming the quarterback, and especially with all the weapons they have. Right on the board, I mean, obviously the pick is probably Breece Hall, although he'll miss the first couple weeks. And then even everyone else on the board is better than Jahmyr Gibbs. But I really think that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have that big season. And I don't want to wait. I don't think he's going to be here when I come over around here. I don't think he's going to be there. Right around here, I'm targeting Calvin Ridley. I like that pick. I just like the way things are going to shake out for him. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to take that step. I also like Jerry Jeudy. That'd be a perfect back-to-back for me. 2 wide receivers, fill in the flex and the wide receiver. If we're looking at any running backs eventually to see what we'll do the starting roster other than maybe a tight end. Looking at running backs that I can probably get. Because I think at this point I got the 50th pick. I'll have the 40th. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'll have about the 47th pick or something around there. So realistically, I probably might not be able to get any of these guys. And I don't know if I want to take Kamara, although, he suspended 3 games, but they have Kareem now, Jamal Williams. I mean, they just have a lot of guys on that team that I don't really know if I want to invest in. But with that being said, I mean, I like Kenneth and I like Pacheco. I think either of them is a player to bust out, have a big year. So I think I'll look at Kenneth Walker, when it comes down to it. I mean, he had pretty big games the last couple weeks, and I don't see them not giving him as much time. I think, honestly, if anything, this is way too low for Kenneth Walker. I know they picked a running back in the 2nd round, but why does that mean anything about Kenneth Walker not getting? I mean, he was the clear running back 1 on that team last year, and he absolutely dominated in the back half of the season. So I think without a doubt, I'll be happy if I can get any variation of these 3 in the next 2 picks that I have. Let's go to all positions. But I think that's a realistic target. I think I could probably get maybe Jeudy and Calvin, or I can't get Jeudy. Even still, I like Chris Godwin and some of the players on the board, DeAndre, Mike Williams. I like the players on the board. But yeah, I'm like I said, looking forward to can't get Calvin Ridley. I'm looking forward to a year where I pick wide receivers. For the longest time now, I've been picking running backs heavy or tight ends and positions that not that they don't matter, but you need to pick value. Points over value. I was a big value picker. Like I picked Mark Andrews 3rd round last year because he came to me very late, and I was like, wow, that's a really good pick. He's just top 2 tight end, and he's coming to me at like 38. And I just don't see a reason, or maybe it was the 4th round. It was just too good to not pick him, and it panned out the first couple of games, and then it wound up busting everywhere. Pause. With just the way everything shook out. But with that being said, I think sometimes I got to realize that, like, for example, these couple picks that I have right here, I think I can get points out of them and not just value. Like, it wasn't just a value pick, like, oh, this is a good pick, this is a good pick. These players will put up points. I think that's what my mentality has changed to. I would like Debo here, actually. Still one of the best in the league, although he shook it up with an injury last year. I'm up next on the clock. Let's see. What I would do here is probably pick Deebo Samuel. That is realistically what I would probably wind up doing in that position. Top wide receiver on one of the top teams playing against some bad teams. Now I got the 51 pick. I mean, Kenneth is kind of a reach. If I was really actually gonna pick someone, I'd probably pick Hopkins, man. Like, he's DeAndre Hopkins, you know. But that's a good question. What can I expect with him? That is the truth right there. Do I want to go with a player who's proven himself, or do I want to, look at someone who is, poised for a bigger season on a better team? That's a good question. At the end of the day, I think it really boils down to what you want to look at. And like I said, I was looking at wide receivers, but I'm not sure. I think I would probably I'd probably wind up taking DeAndre Hopkins in this situation, just based off of the production he's had. I really like the way that he's played. When it comes down to it, he's the best wide receiver on the board. I mean, you can't pass. I mean, I'd rather be upset that DeAndre Hopkins didn't pan out. I know, whatever his name went there, Julio Jones didn't pan out. But I'd rather be upset that he didn't pan out and I screwed up on a pick than be frustrated if he did pan out and I didn't pick him because I was too scared. Now coming back, let's see what I got. I'm actually probably up around where Kenneth Walker lies, so I might be able to get him. And then, is there any good tight ends on the board? I would say Kyle Pitts, just because he could probably have a big season, but I'd rather get a pick I'd rather pick someone like Javonte Williams. I'd really like to get a guy who might start and actually produce, other than a guy that will fill a position. So I'll do these next two picks. I mean, I'm sorry that I was kind of a little focused. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you a little reason behind of what I did for each pick, right? So, for example, Jamar Chase, obviously clear, I want a lot of wide receivers on my team, so I held true to that. I went for the wide receiver who's, pretty much produced second behind Justin Jefferson. Then following up with Jalen Hurts. Wasn't my first pick, wasn't my second pick, wasn't even my third pick. I would prefer a lot of people over him. But with that being said, you've got to take into account what he'll do. He runs the ball. He can score on, QB sneaks, running the ball, touchdowns. That's important. He's the best at doing it right now. And Jahmyr Gibbs is just pure, I think he's going to be good, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get him again. He's going to catch the ball a lot. Seems as though they're going to put him in a lot of different positions. The Detroit face one of the one of the divisions in the worst running, the worst in running defense, and out of the backfield when it comes to running backs. Looking at Deebo Samuel and DeAndre Hopkins, same type of thing. Big PPR guys. They get the ball a lot. They'll catch the ball a lot. Deebo good in open space. They use him a lot around the touchdown zone. He had a down year last year. I'm expecting a bounce back. And DeAndre is a little bit of a riskier pick, but he has value in the fact that he's DeAndre Hopkins. So that was the mentality for all those picks. Right now, I'd be really happy with my team if this was really a draft that shook out. Yeah, so at the 70th, I'm targeting Kenneth Walker or Isaiah Pacheco. I'll take any of those two. And if they go, I would probably wind up going back down to Javonte, although I wouldn't want to. Even so, I would take maybe Mike Williams at this point, just because I like that team more than I like DeAndre Hopkins, and they throw the ball a lot. So with that being said, I'm cool with any of these four players at this next pick. I wouldn't be upset if, preferably it goes Kenneth Walker, and then any of the three I'm kind of tied with for what I want. But, if we were to continue this and keep going, the tight end that I'd be targeting eventually would probably be David Njoku, just with the way that, Deshaun Watson is coming back. It's David Njoku. He had a pretty good year when he started playing. I don't believe in Evan Ingram. I like Pat Freiermuth, obviously Steelers fan. I don't like him, and I do like Dalton Schultz as a player. I just don't know how he's going to pan out when it comes down to, what's his name, the quarterback out of Ohio State, CJ. But yeah, I don't know what I would like to see out of that. Almost all my players just got picked there. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. I'm on the clock right now. Yeah, I'd probably take Javonte, if we're being honest. I'll probably take Javonte right there. No other running backs on the board ahead of him that I like, and I think he's going to produce the most. And then I'd probably take Christian Kirk at my next pick. I think Christian Kirk's going to have a big year. I really think that people are forgetting that he was the top wide receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. Although Calvin Ridley's coming back, Christian Kirk, one of the better slot wide receivers, definitely Trevor Lawrence target. And I think he's poised for another big season on a defense that's going to on an offense that's going to throw a lot. So let's see who I get here, and then I can tell you who I'm going to picture for my tight end if I wind up getting Christian Kirk. Obviously, I like Brandon Ayuk for a breakout season as well. I do like actually Marquise Brown, but I want to stay away from that team. Although I really like the fact that he could probably come out and be good. I don't know what Kyler Murray's injury is looking like, and so on and so forth. So I'm shying away from that as well. With this pick, I mean, I'd probably be comfortable with Christian Kirk, although I love Michael Thomas. I think this is the best pick on the board. And then I come back, I probably have the 100th pick, and around there, I would take David Njoku, Evan. I would take any of these three tight ends. I would take any of these three when I come back. It's going fast, so actually I could stay here and do this, and then I'll finish up the video, and that'll be it. So I'll take David Njoku and see if we can get him. Jackson Smith, however you say his last name. I also like him. I think he's a good value pick. I think he could win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to be one of those players that puts up like over 1,100 yards, but I think he could finish with like maybe 1,000 yards and like 4 touchdowns on that team, maybe. And I see him doing that, with ease, just with the way that the team has been going. So a bunch of tight ends just got picked. Not shocked. I mean, people hadn't been picking tight ends, so we can go back down and see who I would do now. Right around now, I would probably wind up taking one of these two, just based off of quarterback play and what they could do. Honestly, when it comes down to it, no one else is really impressive down here, and I don't want to wait that long. And I don't think Juwan Johnson's going to produce at a level that he did last year. So I kind of want to get a tight end now, and I'm fine with either of these two. Good value pick, could play better than expected. Honestly, I don't know if I'd go with Taylor Higbee, but I'm fine with it. I mean, I would probably want to go on Dalton Schultz unless he gets picked right now. But I'd be fine with either of these two, to be honest. I prefer Dalton Schultz a little more just because I would like to see what TJ Stroud could do. I'd be invested in the team a little more, and I don't think I'm as invested in Taylor Higbee as I am in Dalton Schultz. I would have maybe picked J.K. Dobbins if I just checked the board. So we can actually wait for another pick. Juju Smith, I think, is being a little slept on. I like the value of Brian Robinson. He got almost 19 touches a game. Who else is there that's on the board that's pretty good? Odell, I'm not sure about. Sky Moore, not sure about any of these wide receivers. Gabe Davis is a good value pick right here. Although he had a pretty bad season last year, I mean, he's still wide receiver 2 on the best offensive team, or one of the best offensive teams in the league. So I'd probably wind up picking him. But it's insane to me that he is now like a 5th round pick or 9th round pick in a 12-man league, after being poised to be in 9th, 10th. Whatever it's called, pick. So I'd probably take him just based off of value again. And then back now, I'd probably start looking at running backs again that I could get. Right about now, I'd probably look for Elijah, backup, very good backup, and he'll probably actually get time. Same thing as Rashad Penny, could wind up winning the starting job there. And Jerick McKinnon, best running back when it comes to catching. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was a little all over the place, but it was the first time doing it. I was a little too focused on, making sure I did a good draft. But let me know what you guys think about these first 9 picks. I think I'd be very happy with those. I got some good value in the 2 but bench wide receivers, and if either of them, wind up taking the step to, be the next level, I wouldn't feel so bad about that DeAndre Hopkins pick. Maybe I could have gotten value out of a different running back or wide receiver or any of the picks, but we can go back and look, when it came down to that pick, what I should have maybe done differently. Maybe Kamara. Maybe I could have taken, I could have taken Kamara or White, and, if White has a big season, I'd probably feel bad. But I'm happy with this team. Let me know what you guys think. As I said, I appreciate you guys watching as always, and tune in next Wednesday.